joining us for another episode of Pop Voice, the Suffolk Voice A&E Roundtable series, where we cover any and all things pop culture. I'm sophomore Erika Lynch, and today I'm joined by freshmen Joe Benjamin, Diego Lopez, and Kelly Mitchell. On today's installment, we'll be talking about some celebrity controversy, take a look back at some recent events on campus here at Suffolk, and our expectations for several albums slated for release this year. Now Kelly will start us off with some juicy controversy.
So, starting the show right off with the controversial stuff, Kelly Osbourne recently tweeted that she'll be stepping down from Fashion Police, where she's a co-host on the show. Reportedly, she's stepping down because of the comments her co-host Juliana Rancic made about Zendaya's hair at the Oscars. Kelly apparently just did not support that. There's rumors that she was fired, but she said she stepped down because she wasn't comfortable with the comments that were looked at as racist because it was Zendaya's natural hair. So what do you guys think about that?
I think it was like a pretty awful thing of them to do, talking about her hair like that, especially because a couple episodes earlier, they had been talking about, I think it was Kylie Jenner's hair, and she had cornrows in her hair. They were talking about how it was like edgy and cool and new, but then when they got to Zendaya and they were talking about like her actual natural hair, you know, it's just the way it is, they were just talking about how trashy it looked, and you know, I think that's just really awful of them to do.
Yeah, I mean, that statement that cornrows has been around for a long time, ever since, you know, the 90s, with all the girl female hip-hop groups, and so I don't think I like the way Kylie was represented as making a new trend for the cornrows, even though it has been around for a very, very long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even it was reported that Kelly said that they filmed all of or they were discussing the thing about Zendaya, and she was like, no, we can't say that, and when they did, it was pretty much the last straw, and she was just done with it, which, I mean, I'm really sad to see her go.
Yeah,
but
me too. She has my name, so I'm a little biased, but I get the Fashion Police's spiel where they go, and obviously they make fun of people for poor fashion choices, but, like, that's her hair, and she looked gorgeous, and she's 18 years old, and at the Oscars, like, she's my age, and she's at the Oscars, like, it wasn't necessary, so I applaud Kelly for being able to step back and say, I don't support this, I've been with the show for a long time, I'm done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But at least Zendaya handled it really well. Like her response to the whole controversy was really like well thought out. Where she sort of said like, you know, hey, this is just how my hair is, and you know how it is for my family members, and it's just something that like we, you know, Black people do, and I think she just was very tasteful about it. So
yeah.
Speaking of other controversy, have y'all seen the SNL?
I saw it.
Yes.
I kind of felt bad for laughing, like after I saw it, because it was just so good and so bad. I just felt so horrible for laughing after it.
I thought it was funny though. Like honestly, like it did make me feel bad for laughing, but it really did make me laugh, and I think that was the point.
Yeah, it was funny, but that's a very like scary topic.
Yeah, it's a very scary topic.
So I don't know, I kind of have mixed feelings towards it.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it was a skit that featured the actress from 50 Shades of Grey.
Dakota Johnson.
So she was starring on the show. And it's kind of like this fake commercial of like this girl who's, you know, just out of high school, like going off to join ISIS. So obviously a really sensitive topic. It reminded me of kind of the same lines of the Interview controversy. And that it's like, well, morally, should they have made this? No, probably not. But this is America, and you have the legal right to do that.
Absolutely.
Right.
And yeah, the legal right to unfortunately make fun of Zendaya's hair, but that doesn't make it right to do it on television. So that's kind of where
we're like
all
the only
problems
people.
lie.
We're like the only country that can just get away with that.
Yeah,
ISIS
exactly.
skit.
Yeah, I'm watching it. Like, if this was any other country, like we'd be in war.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
But we're now going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have all the details on some recent exciting happenings around campus. And we're back on Pop Voice. I'm Erika Lynch, joined by Joe Benjamin, Diego Lopez, and Kelly Mitchell. Suffolk has seen some excitement in the past couple of weeks with Suffolk Idol and Dancing with the Stars finally taking place. I will now turn things over to Diego with more on these competitive nights on campus.
So with Unity Week being last week, Suffolk has seen a lot of events that have had pretty good turnouts. Some of the bigger ones being the open mic night, which many students enjoyed, the Suffolk Idol, and the Dancing with the Stars. The winners for Dancing with the Stars were the team Elizabeth and Jared, and the Suffolk Idol winner was Nishina, who will be opening for Jessie J. And the two runners-up were Matthew Bittner, who will be performing at the Journey Awards, and Antonio Roulette, who will be performing at the SGA Awards. So have you guys been to any of these events, or what did you think of them, and which ones were some of your favorites?
Unfortunately, I haven't been to any of them, but I think the Dancing with the Stars one was a really good competition that I heard through the grapevine somewhere, and I heard there's a lot of great dancing, and I'm so glad for those two for winning that night, and for Suffolk Idol.
Suffolk.
Yeah.
So, actually, in Suffolk University Dance Company, we had our show on Wednesday as well, which I'm a dancer. But a few girls on my dance team actually choreographed for Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, they didn't come out the winner, but it was good to be able to represent SUDC and everything. And our show was on Wednesday. It was a really good time. Wicked performed. We had Step Team, and Seriously Bent was our host. So it was really good.
They're always
event.
a good time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just to clarify, Dancing with the Stars, we don't have accents. It's the name of the show.
Yeah.
Wicked awesome show, Dancing with the Stars.
Wicked
But anyway,
awesome.
I went to Suffolk Idol, and I thought it was really cool because it was a really relaxed vibe. Like, I don't even think they turned all the lights off in the auditorium. They just had everyone come up and audition, and there were so many different genres that people sang. Like, the first guy who came out sang jazz. There was like a rap group that wrote their own stuff. So, it was a really diverse feel. Like, you think everyone's going to come up there and sing a Jessie J song. So it was cool to see just everyone had their own vibe.
Do you know what song Nashina did to
I
win?
believe she sang Stay by Rihanna. It was
Oh,
in
no
the-
way.
Good
Yeah,
one.
she,
Oh,
wow.
she did well. If it's who I'm thinking of, she did a very good job. It was like a very soulful performance.
Ooh.
And that's awesome for her that she gets to open for Jessie J. Like,
Yeah,
Hopefully
that's
huge.
amazing.
Yeah, maybe
Awesome
she'll get like a
opportunity.
music contract from Jessie J's manager.
Can you imagine?
I know.
Yeah, just casual, another day at college, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You never know who could be watching, so that's awesome.
Yeah. And did you hear anything about the open mic?
I
actually
mean, a
wasn't
lot
aware
of
of
people
that.
I know performed. I saw pictures of it, and it seemed like a lot of fun. I mean, I think
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
really
people
cool.
had, some really good performances, and I
Yeah.
think all around it was just a positive. I think there's just been a lot of like good events going on in Suffolk recently, and like I
Yeah.
said, with Unity Week, that's like helped more with like bringing these events to everybody, and I think Suffolk's just been like really successful with their events lately. And of course, there's Seriously Bent, who's going to Chicago soon,
Yeah.
and that's been they had a
Yes.
performance last night, which I heard
Yeah.
was really
do.
funny. So. Just a lot of good talent all around.
The a cappella group on campus, the Ramifications,
yeah.
they just performed at an a cappella, like kind of like a real life Pitch Perfect. My roommate is in it, so yeah, she was telling me about that. They didn't proceed further, but I heard they did a really good job. And
But still, it's a really cool environment to be in, especially if they're
Yeah.
like pitch perfect type of vibe.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it was. I heard it was really competitive because it's all of the like big Northeast schools that come together and compete. So it was a real deal. But-
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and even when we come back from spring break, I know Wicked is having their show. So
Right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Brand new dances. I can't wait for that.
great
It
things
was really
happening
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
campus.
Oh yeah, big
I like
things.
them.
We're going to take one last break, and to wrap things up, Joe will lead us in discussing our most anticipated album releases for 2015. Welcome back to Pop Voice. I'm Erika Lynch, joined by Joe Benjamin, Diego Lopez, and Kelly Mitchell. Countless albums and singles are released every year. However, some have already caught our attention. Joe, you've been vocal in expressing some interest in some particular releases, so take it away.
I definitely have. Thank you, Erica. So, as you know, 2015, so far so good with all the music releases, all the Grammys going on, stuff like that. And so there's gonna be a lot of upcoming releases, such as Drake releasing his new album especially with the mixtape that he made a surprise to everybody earlier this year. Kanye West, my favorite artist of all time. Sorry. Adele with 25.
Finally.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah.
But like skipping 22, 23, 24. Yeah. Lana Del Rey with Honeymoon. Mumford & Sons with, which album is that? I forget.
Okay, so Mumford & Sons, that's the one I'm really pumped about because I really like their folksy sound. They're coming out with Wilder Minds in May. But it's actually interesting because I read online that one of the people in the band, they're saying that they're going for like a different sound. Like the
Right.
banjo is not going to really be in the album.
So more like
which,
pop.
That's hard to
Yeah,
imagine.
it's going to be more of
Yeah.
an electronic sound. They said it was like a natural progression, which I mean I can respect. Like as artists, they have a bigger scope of what they want to do and don't do
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again. But I like the banjo. They made the banjo
Yeah.
cool.
I
You know who, surprisingly, I'm sorry, what did you
No, I was
say?
gonna say, like, I feel like as different as that is for Mumford & Sons, one of their bigger problems earlier was that like their songs tended to kind of sound the same, like so like while it's gonna be really weird hearing them with like a different kind of sound behind them, I think it's kind of good, it diversifies them a little bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like everything like most artists have been kind of eventually going towards
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's the first
Tegan
thing
and
I
Sarah
think
did
of.
that too.
Mumford is
Yep.
like pulling
Yeah.
a Taylor Swift right now.
It always goes to that pop because I mean that is what's like taking over
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
themselves, yeah.
But
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm feeling iffy. But JoJo, who we remember from back in the day, is coming out with a new album. Surprisingly, Akon,
Wow.
wow.
yeah, Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, all coming out with releases in 2015. So it's going to be a big year in music.
Yeah.
And especially when the Grammys come along next year. Oh my God.
All
it's
trying to
gonna be-
make comebacks.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
lots of
trying to make
comebacks.
comebacks, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's gonna be really fun. And with Drake's little controversy about him going to switch another record. That's why he released if you're reading this now, it's too late mixtape because he's trying to get out of his now contract, and he's going to release Views on the 6th later on, hopefully in the third quarter of the year. And so we can't wait for that, especially in Kanye West, just being Kanye West, having a good year so far. So we'll see about that. What do y'all think of y'all? I don't know.
I mean, I'm excited to see what JoJo has.
Yeah.
I loved her when I was little, so always had her on my little CD player.
Yeah, I also
CD.
know Florence and the Machine is coming
Oh,
out with a
that's
new
right,
album.
yeah.
As far as I know, she's keeping the same sound, which is cool. It's called
Good.
How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Blue and
yeah, so that
Black?
comes out. Yeah, it comes out. Yeah, it's White
White
and Gold,
and
Blue and Black, the album. But that comes out in June, and then Passion Pit is coming out with something this year too, and they're right out of Cambridge, so I like plugging them. 'cause
Yeah,
they're local.
absolutely.
Nice.
They're good.
Yeah.
Good
It's
stuff.
gonna be,
yeah.
it's gonna be
It's
awesome.
gonna be interesting.
I can't
Good
wait.
stuff.
But yeah, I just can't wait.
I know.
2015
A lot
is
of-
gonna be so awesome.
Absolutely, a lot of new music to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So that is all for this week's installment of Pop Voice. Make sure to visit us at thesuffolkvoice.net for more information and updates. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at @SU_voice. Thanks for watching and make sure to tune in next time.